Hello my lovelies. Guys, ignore the hair, it is hair wash day. So I am very much in the middle of all of that. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to see, because also every time I film a video my voice seems to have a mind of its own. So there is a 9 times out of 10 chance that my voice will go midway through a sentence and then it will be very embarrassing and I will have to find ways to do other things, right? But today I have a really nice video for myself, not for you guys, for myself. I am gonna be going through some products I recently bought to, well, I kind of needed them, so I was like, well, let me just test these out. So I got the Loccitane shower oil. I've got the shower oil, I've got the shower cream, and I've got their rich body lotion. And I also have the Frank Body's glycolic body scrub with me. So let's get into it. I used them today for the first time. And first thing I'm gonna say is this, the only gripe I have so far, like from opening to now, is just the size of these, because this is the only size this comes in. Like, it's $2.50 and it's the only size it comes in. So yeah, that kind of peeves me just a tiny bit, because I'm like, for what it is, I would expect that even if they do have this size, they have larger sizes, but this is the only size. And I was like, well, I'll just buy everything the same size just so that I have an idea, a basis of what I'm working with. So apart from that, that's the only initial gripe I had with the products from just visual. I will say this is actually a really nice product, the shower oil. I know from research before I bought it that one of the things that people were talking about from this product was the scent. Like, it smells, it has kind of a clean scent, and it's not Castile soap, but it is very similar in like the clean smell that it gives to Castile soap, and I don't hate it. I mean, if it were fragrance, I'd be a little bit happier. I have the almond one I have the almond and the cherry blossom one as well. So I kind of have those as like little side, you know, just side comparisons to the smell. But this, I don't hate it. I feel like if I bought it not knowing, like, no, I didn't know what it smelled like, but I feel like if I hadn't known and then I got this, I wouldn't be upset. That it's not a bad fragrance at all. So I know that some people like don't like that kind of fragrance, so it's dependent on, do you really think that it matters? Now, here's something I'm gonna say. It's not that it doesn't have a smell or a scent, it doesn't have any fragrance. And I've spoken about it on the channel before, but fragrance and scent are two different things when it comes to cosmetics. And that is because a fragrance is something that is normally added into a product in the formulation process, being that you add it to give it a kind of smell as a marketing value, right? So if you buy something that smells like roses and there's no actual rose in the product, that was a fragrance. It was added to the product to give it that fragrance, to give it that kind of smell, right? While this doesn't have that. It's not like you added the clean smell into the product to give that. It's more so that whatever ingredients they used, I'm assuming the shea, or at least part of that aspect. Let me just check right now. It has grapeseed oil, and it has grapeseed oil, shea butter, and sunflower seed, right? It actually does have fragrance. I lied. It does have fragrance, which I don't know, for me, it doesn't smell like it does. So, because it's not a perfume type of smell. It is more so just like, oh, if you told me that this is natural, I would say, oh, that makes sense because it smells natural. It doesn't smell like they went and put something in it. And I'm trying to see if it's natural fragrances, that's why they added it, or if it just... No, it is an added fragrance. So I lied. I probably should have read that before I said that. But it is an added fragrance. No, again, like I said, it's not a bad smell. I just, for a fragrance, it, considering, like, if it were a natural, I would have been like, oh yeah, it's fine. But if this is an added fragrance in it to give it the smell that it has, no. Try again. Not that I hate it, it's just that this is not what I would have expected from, damn, this is just not what I would have expected considering that it says it is a added fragrance. Next, so I use this, and here are my thoughts on how it performs. It doesn't lather. No, as a Jamaican, there is something to be said about having soap that does not lather on your skin, right? And that is because when you buy a soap, when you buy body wash, you expect it to give your skin a nice soapy texture or soapy visual while you use it, and that is because of sulfates. No, this does have sulfates. This does have sulfates in it. It just does not have the, I don't know how, because it's the first ingredient, but it's not a very sudsy product. This is a very odd product considering the ingredients in there, because it is, the first ingredient is trilaureth sulfate, and then you have the grapeseed oil, and then the laureth 3, then you have the shea butter, and then triglyceride, I know that word, the cocamide may, the propylene glycol, the sorbitol oleate, fragrance, hippocrate rhamniodes oil. I don't actually know what that is. I need to research that. Sunflower seed oil, water, alcohol, tocopherol, alpha ismuth ion, linalool, benzyl salsate, citronel, coumarin, limonene, and geraniol. Now those 4 things are citrus fragrances or citric fragrances. So again, if you told me that a lot of the fragrances in there were natural, which I'm assuming a lot of it is, I would believe you, but I don't know what they added into it, if that's what was to give that fragrance, or if everything just melded together and created that. But no other things. But it does not it does not sud very easily. I used it I put it on my wash sponge, and then I lathered it onto my wet body, and it didn't sud. Now I can say that it does give your skin a really good clean, and you know whether or not your skin is being cleaned because I observed that it does gently buff away. My sponge is exfoliating sponge as well, so it does gently buff away the dead skin cells on your body whilst you're showering. So the dead skin cells that were being washed mixed in with the shower oil, so you could actually see the change. So you'd see that it changed color. So because your skin cells are gray when dead skin cells are gray when they come off, and you tend to see that in soap depending on the type of soap, and I could see that here. So I know for a fact that if you're not washing your body, if your body's not clean, it will bill you. Next, I went in with the body scrub. No, first thing I want to say, I think I paid £8 for this. This is 100 grams, which is essentially 100 mils, and it comes in this little pouch, right? Beautiful pouch. And I think I use about 1/3 of the product. So this for £10 gives me about 3 uses, right? Which I guess is just like a month's worth of use, depending on how often I do it. So it's probably like it's probably like a month's worth of use, right? If you use it once a week, which is really how you're supposed to exfoliate in certain parts of your body, once a week. This is a glycolic body scrub, which means that it is an AHA body scrub. So it's in the shower, you do it, you do it for a minute, and you rinse it off. That is how it works, right? So it has glycolic acid, stearic acid, cetyl alcohol, sodium hydroxide, glycerin, perfume, fragrance, cetyl olivate, sodium cocoa isthionate, sorbitol olivate, vitis vinifera oil, did I say that wrong? Lactic acid, niacinamide, Himalayas Virginia water, aliritsmol seed oil, aloe vera juice, aloe barbadianus leaf juice, aloe vera juice, C12, coconut acid, ethyl hexaglycerin, eucalyptus global leaf oil. You can smell that. Something I will say very, 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 that's very strong in this product is the eucalyptus oil. And I could tell. So I opened it for the first time and I'm like scooped out. So I'm just gonna show you the texture here. If I just get some up. Right, so like a little bit up. This is the texture. It if you can hear that, it's slight ASMR, but that is the texture of the cream. It's the exfoliant. So it does, and then you do smell the eucalyptus. I know it's not menthol, it's another one. I did actually learn that. I did learn that when I was doing GC. But yeah, it's, you have the tiny particles. I'm assuming this is coconut husk. I didn't actually check what their exfoliating particle was, but I do know that this is not, it's not a sugar scrub, so it doesn't dissolve in water. So I know that if you're not into that, if you prefer sugar scrubs, you're probably not gonna like this. However, I will say it washes off very well. It's like still on my body because it's dry. But one thing I will say that I like that this product does, it washes off very, very easily in the shower. I genuinely turn on the shower and it's not even that high, and I just stood under it and it just washed off. I didn't have to rub my hands on my body, nothing, it just rinsed off my body very, very quickly and very easily. And I kid you not, that is probably one of the fastest any body scrub has washed off my body, which for me is a plus because it means that I can do a quick scrub, wait for a minute, and then just rinse off and then get out of the shower, and I'm not wasting that much time because I'm not spending extra time like just trying to find it and like scrub it. And even though it's tiny particles, even though they're microparticles for the exfoliants, it doesn't, you don't feel them, but your skin is significantly smoother. I 100% recommend this if you're buying an exfoliant, especially if you're buying an active one. I personally prefer active exfoliants in the shower because they're a little bit nicer in terms of they are physical and they're chemical, so they exfoliate my body both by removing the dead skin cells, and also they work to correct any hyperpigmentation or any discoloration that's on my body, like that, burn scars that are as a byproduct of where I work. So I do like that aspect of it, and I would repurchase this. No, they do have a larger tub for, I think, for £25 instead of this, which is I think 10, this £10. So I would start off with this. So if you don't know whether you're gonna want to purchase it again, I would start off with this one because this is a really good way to go, and then work your way up if you feel like, oh, I'm gonna use it more than I figured, so buy that one. Next, the shower cream. This is it says sensitive skin, right? So let's see here. This has significantly less ingredients in it than this does. So let's compare. Unlike your shower oil, this does not have any sulfates in it, which I think is hilarious because you can say that this doesn't have any form of foaming at all. No, one of the reasons why I feel like this makes sense why this has sulfates in it to foam is because it's an emollient based product, and that means it's oil based. So obviously it's a shower oil, so it's oil based, but oils emulsify, and that means they foam well, so you need an emulsifier, and so you're gonna have that in here to ensure that the product foams well together. Sorry, that was my foundation. That's my hand just like going all of this. But you need your emulsifier to work the dirt from the surface of your skin, which makes sense as to why this foams. That's why you have a sulfate. Now this doesn't do that because the cream is not an oil, so you don't need it to foam up, right? So this one has water, decluttermotivation, Sunflower seed. Just like with your shower oil, this also has sunflower seed oil and shea butter. Sorry, shea oil. This has shea butter, but this has shea oil. That's the difference that you note. Glycerin fragrance xanthan gum. Acrylate C10. Does this have acrylate C10? This does not. This does not have acrylate C10. Your C10 is your, I literally have it popped up here. Let me just tell you what that is. That is your preservative. How did I forget about that? I literally was just like doing some information on that. Yeah, your C10 is your, sorry, your emulsifier. See, I'm a liar. That is your emulsifier. So that is what is used to ensure that the oil and the water work well, so it doesn't cause any separations of the product, because you can't have that when you mix oil and water together, right? Your alkyl acrylate cross polymer is your polymerizer. Your polymeric. Why is that word so hard to say? Emulsifier. Citric acid is a stabilizer and an antioxidant. Sodium hydroxide is also it's also it's an antioxidant as well. Tocopherol, vitamin E, and sodium benzoate. That's your preservative. Sorry, your sodium hydroxide is preservative. Why am I brain work? Damn. But yeah, your sodium hydroxide is a preservative. I have it here in my notes from other things. Has nothing to do with this in this. Has nothing to do with this in particular, but it's working really well in, you know, yeah, that is, it's one of your preservatives. So like I said, this is significantly less ingredients, and the, obviously you can't see it here, but the formulation for it is very different as well. It's a cream, unlike the oil. So this one goes like that. It's very much just, and it doesn't foam, but it does get like really milky when you put it on. Like, just focus the camera. There you go. So that is how it sits on the skin. And the fragrance profile is slightly different in the cream than it is in the oil, meaning that the cream has a more flowery fragrance to it, and not in a bad way. It's just more so like, oh, you can tell that this is a little bit stronger, not in a bad way, like I said, but more so, I think, because there's less ingredients, there's less things weighing down the fragrance, so it comes out stronger. It is essentially the same level of fragrance. It is, I think, the same fragrance in itself. It's just that the levels based on ingredients are different, and therefore the flavor, the fragrance profile is going to seem a little bit different, but they do seem to be the same fragrances. Now, again, so I use the shower first, the oil first, the exfoliant, and then I went with this. And this, I think, works really well for people who want a nice, quick use. One thing I realized, I used more of the cream than I did of the oil, and I think a lot has to do with the fact that this is oil, so it spreads a little bit easier, while the cream, you kind of need to work it in a little bit more to get it to the same level as the oil. And then, you know, and then it works. However, I can say I prefer the cream. I know I used more of the cream, but I prefer it to the oil, and only for the resulting factor. Now, the oil is meant to work in a way that when you step out of the shower, your skin is already moisturized, while the cream is meant to more so hydrate. And those are two different words, two different meanings. Moisturization is to kind of lock in whatever hydration you have. Hydration is to provide water to your skin. Those are two different things. When you add the oil onto your body, it is locking in that water that is on your body onto your skin, so that your skin does not lose its hydration. That is what moisture is. Moisture locks in hydration. Hydration is what is provided to your body via water, right? So the cream is providing that hydration from the water. It's giving your skin that water that it needs. And I say that I prefer it only because, like I said, when you step out of the shower, your skin is moisturized, I mean it's sealed, so that you can feel it. And this isn't a bad thing. However, for me, I personally don't like the feeling of like having my skin slick. And if you don't use lotion, which I don't know why, that is a crime. Do not be ashy in the streets. But if you do not like using lotion, having the shower oil is a much better alternative than having the shower cream, because at least with the oil, your body is already moisturized. So you are basically lotioned already without needing to go in there. While with the cream, you are going to need to follow it up with something. It is the kind of product that if you do not add any lotion to it, you are going to eventually see and it does kind of aid into transdermal water loss, because there is nothing to moisturize your body. There's nothing to protect it, seal over. Your lotion is essentially a moisturizer. That is why it's called a moisturizer, just like your face one. Your body lotion is essentially your body moisturizer, which you do kind of see in certain markets where you see body lotions advertised as body moisturizers. They're the same thing. That's their purpose. Right, then you come in with the body lotion. Now this is called a rich body lotion. They also have a cream, as in like a rich cream. So that's like the thingy, is it? It's like pretty thick, right? And then there you go. You can still feel, I can still feel the effects of, there, see, it's basically all gone. You can see like some parts of my lines, but that is because I haven't have a million lines in them. And one thing I noticed very quickly on is it does not give a slimy feel. And if you've used certain lotions, you understand what that means. As in, lotions have oils, and those oils are meant to seal the body with lock in the moisture, like lock in the hydration. And so you have oils that are meant to coat the skin. Now, certain oils do it very well, and when they're done well, your body has a nice sheen to it without feeling overly slick or without feeling as though you need to rinse it off again with soap. Now, this does a really good job at that, meaning that the shea that is in here does very well at providing that oil, because I do when I put it on, I was like, oh my god, my skin feels so nice and supple. Like you can tell that whatever hydration was there was being locked in, and then it dries down very well, so I don't worry that my skin isn't moisturized. It doesn't feel dry. It feels really nice and smooth, but it's not greasy, which a lot of products can be. And it's not too light of a moisturizer, that too light of lotion that when you put it on you feel as though you need to go over it again. My skin doesn't feel like that. It's not tight at all. It's not uncomfortable, none of that. I put it on and I'm like, oh my god, this is really nice. And one thing I realized is that one pump is enough for each area of your body. When I spice from my bottom to areas, like my legs are 2 areas, right? So like my thighs and then my knees, calves. That's the word. My thighs and my calves. Those are 2 sections. So one pump for my thighs, 1 pump for my calves on both sides. That's 4 pumps. So that's 4 pumps for my lower half. And then my feet, I use half a pump for each foot. And then my arms are 1 pump for my full arm. And on one side and 1 pump on my other side. So that, that's what, 7 for my extremities, and then 1 pump for my chest, 1 pump for my back, and that's it. So about 10 pumps, give or take how large your body is, for that. And again, like I said, if this came in a larger size, it would make so much more sense. But I think also because it's a pump, you're kind of limited to how you're able to use it. You're not really given that many options. But I think it works really well. Now I also have another product. So I always compare new products to products I own and products I have very specific thoughts on, being positive thoughts. And one of those products is my, let's get out the camera for a while, my Weleda body lotion. It's one thing I use. If I had the cream, I'd test it against the cream, but one thing I use, I'm just gonna do it on the opposite side of my hand. And if you know Weleda, you know that they're very known for their thick creams, so that is one thing. And you can see here the cream works really well, right? It's the same thing as the lotion, where it locks in that moisture really well. The price difference is also noted. No, this I think costs me £15. This costs me 25. This is 200 mils, this is 250 mils, right? Now these are very similar, and the negatives for this would be the fragrance. This has a very strong fragrance. It's very citrus. All their products from the Skin Food line are very citrus in fragrance, so that's something to think about when you're buying it. But it's not a bad fragrance, and just like it does stay on for a little bit longer, so it is much stronger. So if you cannot handle fragrance, I would not recommend this. But this is not the same. This doesn't have that kind of fragrance. It has, I think, the same fragrance as the other in the line. Actually doesn't have it doesn't have that much of a sort of fragrance, actually, if I'm being honest. It's very mild, almost non-existent, and I'm certain that there is some fragrance in here. I think I broke it. I think I broke it. I'm hoping I didn't, because then that would be like, what, almost 30 pounds on the drain, and I waited so long for this. But this has water, shea butter, sunflower seed oil, glycerin, cocoa caprolate, capric triglyceride, cetyl palmate, linseed extract, sweet almond fruit extract. That is actually really cool. Hydrogenated rapeseed oil, cetyl alcohol, polyglycerol 3 beeswax, xanthan gum, sodium stearyl glutamate, sodium polyacrylate, butylene glycol, tocopherol alcohol, chlorpheniramine, urea. Wow. Fragrance, linalool, coumarin, citronelle, cyanine, no. One thing I can say very quickly is that the fragrance location of this compared to the other products in the shea butter line is much lower. So this is one of the final ingredients. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the bottom, whilst in the shower oil it is 14 from the bottom, right? So it's like basically a middle ingredient in shower oil, whilst in the shower cream it is 7. However, like I said, this has the least ingredients of all 3 products, mostly because it is targeted towards sensitive skin, so you will have less ingredients to kind of what is that word? I'm so out of it today. I'm so sorry. But it's to lower the risk, whatever word that is. I can't remember it. But all the risk that comes along with sensitivity for a lot of people with sensitive skin. Sensitivity in regards to sensitive skin. Damn. I cannot today, can I? But those are the products that I bought that I was like, oh, let me try them out, because they're body products, and I love Loccitane, and I feel as though having these three were intentional. So I bought these because I was like, ooh, I need them, but then I wanted a body exfoliant, and I was like, well, they don't have it in their line, so I had to get some somewhere, and then that's where this came along. Do I recommend them? I recommend this if you like a nice hydrating, moisturizing shower. If you feel as though you want an experience, this is an experience. It gives you that nice feel of cleanse without stripping you. And I know that a lot of shower gels, body washes tend to strip your skin very well. They're made for stripping your skin. Very few ones don't. And I think Dove is probably one of the only ones I've used that I feel like doesn't strip my skin in a way. And I'm being very honest, price tag wise, I would choose over Dove for the shower cream over the Dove, my favorite Dove, which is the Deep Nourishing. I would choose this over the shower cream over it, because I feel like this gives me a slightly better result. It's very similar, because I know like Dove's original formula, I'm not sure how many of you actually remember Dove's original formula for their body bars. It is very much this in a liquid form. So it's very nourishing, not very sudding. It doesn't really sud much, but it is very nourishing. And your skin didn't feel stripped at all. Your skin just felt really nicely hydrated. That is the effect that it gives. When I feel like they kind of changed their formulation a bit when they went against animal, like when they decided that they were no longer going to be animal testing, and that did change how their products felt. I'm not sure if you guys remember that, but it did change a lot of how their products felt, and that is when I kind of really stopped using them, because I was like, ugh. I mean, I'm all for no animal testing, you know, but you know, I kind of like the formula that I had. And so this gives me that same feel, that same level of hydration, without me feeling like I'm giving up anything. So that was a tangent though, but this, do I recommend this? I do. For the size to price point ratio though, I feel like if I buy this continuously, I would buy it and use it like once in a while. Like I'd have a cheaper alternative in my shower for everyday use. Then I'd use this if I'm like shaving, or if I'm going out with my friends, you know, for like a date night with my friends or something like that. It's for more, so I'd use it for more like more luxurious experiences for myself. Like if I'm going out, so I give myself a nice pamper in the shower. That's what I use it for. However, this does have refills, and the refills I think are for 500 mils, £30, which isn't bad. 500 ml for £30 for what this is and what it claims isn't bad. It's 10% shea oil, which, right, which I feel like is a really good percentage in a body wash product in terms of giving you that level of hydration and moisture. And so I think that is very good. If you like that, I feel go for it. I don't know, it has no real significance to me. Would I buy it again? Yes, but I would buy this first, and that tells me just what I feel about the products, because this doesn't come in that 500 ml refill bottle, but I would purchase this before I purchase this, right? And I think this is just because it, for me, was a faster clean. I didn't have to work it in as much. I feel like because you have to wait for this to emulsify, it's a little bit more work to get it where you need it to go, especially if you're rushing in the morning. If I'm rushing in the morning, I'm definitely using this, because I feel like this is more for like nighttime use for me specifically. I use this in the morning and this in the night, because I feel like this means I've spent less time working the cream into my skin to get it to lather, versus this, where I know I can just take my time because I'm not really going anywhere. I'm going to my bed, so I'd like to have that nice little experience, right? So I'd use this, I'd put this on top of this, and then if I were to put one above all three, on the top of all three in with this I think, although the price point, the £25 price point, is a little bit steep for something that I can get in regards to this, it is something I would purchase. And I wanted to see whether or not I could find a difference, because obviously this is sheabutter, and I know that what is the main ingredient for this. The main ingredient for this is sunflower oil. This is sunflower oil and this is shea oil, right? Although this does have sunflower oil in it. So the only difference between this and this is that this has shea as well. So a lot of the same ingredients, but very different, you know, formulation purposes. So I'd have them both in my arsenal, and I feel like I'd use them differently for different days. I feel like if I'm spending the day at home, where I know that I'm not going anywhere, so like it doesn't matter the fragrance, I'd use this. But because this really doesn't have that much of a fragrance to it, it feels very nice for an everyday use, because then I'm not drowning in fragrance. And like I said, nothing wrong with fragrance, I love it. But one of the reasons why I'm not too keen on this is because it's so strong of a fragrance. Like I can still smell it. It's not the kind of fragrance that goes really quickly. It does get less and less pungent as you know it wears through the day, but you can 100% still smell it no matter what. Like if somebody walked up to you and you're wearing that and you've had it on for 5 hours, they can still smell it, and that is not a bad thing. Mostly because most of this is not, I think all of this, it does have it listed on the side, just like where all the ingredients are from. So it does have that you know all of these are natural fragrances, so it's not meant to, but I think that is a personal choice. If I had like the body version of this with this brand, well, you know, this is a sign, do that. But if I could get these in this, I would buy it. Was because I don't care about the fragrance, and I feel like I'm okay as long as I don't develop sensitivity. And because it's, I think, natural fragrances that are just as a result of the formulation, I'm okay with it, right? So I don't know, would I purchase this again? 100% yes. This was one of the best experiences of my life. You don't need a lot. It's something that I've realized you need less than you think. And I know that's weird because in your head you're like, but it's an exfoliant, so it's like pretty. But this is the kind of product that, because it's so fine, because the exfoliant beads are so fine, the cream itself makes it seem like you need more, but the beads, there's so many beads packed into a, like you saw what I pulled out, and you can still find beads on my hand. Like they're just so tiny and so spreadable that it's the kind of thing that you're like, oh my god, I have more than I need. So it's going to take a little bit work around in terms of learning how to get the right amount for the right time so I don't waste it, because it, you know, it's one of those things. But I would 100% purchase, like this is definitely going on my everyday purchase list. It's like one staple that I'm going to add. So like along with all my other products that I have as staples, that's definitely going to be one of them. These I don't think as much, because I feel like, again, they are luxury in the sense that, well, you buy them, you use them, but you can find products with a lower price tag with very similar benefits or efficacy, and I'm okay with that. The only thing I can't find right now is going to be a match up to these two, because you don't really have that on the market. And I know the only brand for me that comes close to this is that, just like how the only brand that comes to their rich cream is the Augustinus Bader, but that's like 150 pounds for 50 mils, while this is 10 pounds, I think. I don't know, I can't remember how much I paid for it, for 75. So again, would I spend that money? Yes, because again, that was my button just popped, guys. My button popped off my shirt. The string. So we're gonna ignore that. Like I was saying, the reason I would spend the money with a higher price tag is just because of the fragrance. And I think if they lowered the fragrance in these, like the same formulation sans the fragrance, I would never buy anything else. There is nothing that would be able to top it for me if that were the case. So until then, I will be continually experimenting, see if I can find anything that tops these two on my side. If not, then my wallet will just have to my wallet will just have to cry. What is Cree? I mean, Cree, but whatever, right? But that is my little tidbit. That is all the things I'm thinking about, right? I did my face today, well, because I'm trying out something. I will have it in the shorts, so don't worry, it's gonna be a short. If you know, it's probably gonna come up before this, so whenever it comes out, whenever you see it, you see it. But make sure to check the short out. I'm probably gonna have it linked in the info card somewhere, just as a link for you to see. But it is this, and if you know me, there we go. If you know me, you know how obsessed I am with Elf. This I bought this first day. I bought this because I was like, yes. And one thing I can say, my makeup be looking fine. I have like certain expectations when it comes to certain things that you're promised. No, I know this isn't supposed to be like a demo, but just look at that. Just look at that. Is the mist. It is such a fine. When they said fine, I was like, oh yeah, you know, because let me just grab my, this is my other mist. This is my Guerlain Gold Mist. No, that is a fine mist. So when they said, oh, extremely fine, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be, you know, it's probably just gonna be like a regular setting spray. This is this. And this is my 60-pound setting spray. It's probably not much, but it's Guerlain. This is Elf. The nozzle on this is comparison to a luxury brand nozzle in terms of fine misting, right? That doesn't happen often, and that doesn't happen with products as good as this, because I've only used it just today, but I can tell you that no matter how much you spray, it's never enough. And I sprayed quite, I was holding by the handle, I was holding by the cap, sorry. No matter how much I spray, I haven't used any of it. Like, it's just, that is basically how much I had when I opened it this morning. But it's an amazing, it's so good. The only thing, the only little I have with it, and I can't even complain, is the fragrance. And that's just because it has a really odd fragrance to me. It sounds like a acrylic paint scent. That's what it reminds me of, like paint I used to use in high school. But apart from that, I have no complaints. There's nothing about it to complain about. And because I know I'm a sucker for the primer, I am like, these two holy grail. These are gonna be my holy grails. You will never catch me with anything else, because I was talking about my friend and I was like, what do you use? She's like, oh, Urban Decay has not done me wrong. And I'm like, same, because I still have that and I will still keep it in my collection forever. But let me just like move these out of the way so I can do like a nice. But guys, like, ignore the fine lines, because that is something that happens with my makeup just regardless. So you're gonna see lines in my makeup. Here's the thing, my under eyes happened before I did the setting spray. I had a whole meeting that I before, but ignore that. But my lines, there is no product settling in them, none. Granted, I use the primer, and the primer on my lines, no matter how much I do it, and even so, any other setting spray, and I'm not even joking about this, after a period of time, any other setting spray would have settling. So you can see my lines, and that is okay with me. But you cannot tell me you see any product settling into those lines at all. And that is because of that, because there's no other setting spray that's done that for me, none. And as someone who loves Elf, I have to give Elf their props on this, because this is 100% amazing. I will be continuously, religiously buying this product. So my primer and my setting spray are a go-to with Elf, 100%. I will never get rid of them. And I know that they're a milk dupe, and I feel like I need to test them against each other, because I'm like, there's no way that this is better than milk, because this is a drugstore. But from what I've heard, it is. And I am very, very concerned. Like, milk, you need to step up your game. You need to reformulate, right? If you're making Elf come out with 10-pound dupes of your product that is supposedly the same, or supposedly the same, I'm sorry, but I will not give up my power couple for anything. And this is now gonna be my power couple. But I think I just spent 5 minutes chatting about something that's not related to the video. But yeah, this is it. I can say, this is use at your own discretion kind of products. Do I think that they're worth the money? Yes and no. Because I feel like if it is that you have the money to spend and you want a specific kind of a luxury with your products, go ahead. I feel like considering the price point to the sizing ratio, it is a bit of a workaround, because 250 mils when you think about it for every day. If you're only buying one, right? You only buy the show oil and you only buy this. This is twice a day for a month. I actually don't know how long it's gonna last. I feel like I probably need to give an update eventually. So I'm gonna use it for the month just to see how long, but I don't know if it's really gonna last that long. Obviously I'm gonna be using one Wonder. Oh my god, that was my grenade. That because everything's like no stuff together. No, everything's like no on the table together. But I feel like I'm gonna be using one once a day. So I'm gonna tell you probably at the end of the month what I think, because that will give a more understanding reason as to what really happens with these products. Like, are they actually worth the 25-35 pound price tag that is on them for the size? If not, you will know, because I will make it very clear, because I am not afraid of any brand for whatever reason. There is no brand on this earth that can tell me that they can justify a price tag without giving the benefits of whatever product they're advertising, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I'm going to now enjoy the rest of my day, because I had quite a lot doing today, sadly. And hopefully with that I will be able to go to bed, have a nice nap, and rejuvenate for the rest of the week. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you stay around. Watch all the video, enjoy. If you have not before, please subscribe. Why haven't you subscribed? Why are you watching my video and you have not subscribed? That is mean. Don't do that. Subscribe. Join me. Right? And if you do subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Come on. Keep up to date. Stay with me and my relevance. Right? And then make sure to like this video. You have to follow the path. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, like the video, and finally comments. Tell me, have you ever tried any of these products? Would you try any of these products? And what your thoughts are on not only the products, but their size and their price tag. Do you think it's worth it? Let me know. I need to have external thoughts, because I think my own, obviously having external thoughts will give me like different perspectives. So I need to know what the rest of the world is thinking. I am not alone here, although I feel like I am talking in this empty room by myself. But apart from that, guys, it's been fun, and I will see you in the next one.